Okay.
All
Hey,
right.
good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to One Voice Radio, the broadcast arm of One Voice Magazine, where we discuss stories of hope, unity, and transformation. And you can find One Voice Magazine online at onevoicemagazine.com. My name is Janina, and with me is my co host, Noah.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to One Voice Radio.
Okay, now One Voice Radio is in partnership with UCAP Radio and TBN Asia and TBN Philippines, as well as Light TV. Light TV is our media partner, and then OMF is our book sponsor. We are streaming on our Facebook page, facebook.com/One Voice Magazine. You can find us on Instagram, instagram.com/One Voice Magazine, and on YouTube youtube.com/whatmaginc.
Right. So just so everyone knows, One Voice Magazine also has a group page on Facebook where we share what God is doing in our lives and in our society. So hope you guys can come and be a part of it. So just type One Voice Magazine. Just type One Voice Magazine group, and we talk about stories that give hope, stories that inspire transformation, stories that unite us in the Facebook group. And of course, we can also share our personal testimonies as well. So there.
Yeah. And because we're currently streaming live, we will be able to read some of your comments out loud. So type them in. We will be able to see the comments also coming from the One Voice Facebook page, One Voice YouTube channel, TBN Philippines, TBN Asia, and UCAP Radio. We have people actually who are monitoring the other pages as we speak.
All right.
Excited, Noah?
Yes, guys. So please don't be afraid to join in the conversation. And we hope that you enjoy our time here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, today's episode has to do with academics, a breakthrough in academics. And God has blessed One Voice with incredible achievers. And in fact, Noah is one of them. I don't know if you noticed, but his face is in one of the posters of this particular episode. So, yeah, who is Noah Del Rosario? Okay, and coming on screen are the others. Okay, there's Hannah, and there is Nicole. All right. Now, let me introduce Noah properly. Okay, Noah actually graduated valedictorian from Enfuego Christian Academy. We okay, it's also the school where I actually teach. I'm just on break right now, but yeah, I'm affiliated there. And then Noah graduated magna cum laude from Meridian International College. And Noah is into film. He is an awardee of the Best Narrative Film and Best Screenplay Award of the 11th Piling Obrang Video Film Competition. Okay, and then he has also been a finalist for the short film category in the 2016 Cinemalaya Independent Film Festival.
Mm-hmm.
And a finalist in the short film category of the 2020 Asian Cinematography Awards. Yay! So for your video needs, for your film needs, you can tap Noah Del Rosario. He gives quality work. Okay, and then we also have Pauline Nicole Gusto. Okay, Pauline graduated valedictorian from Shekinah Christian Training Center. She also graduated cum laude from the University of the Philippines, Manila. And from UP Manila, she was also the college salutatorian. And she is a pediatric speech pathologist and AAC specialist. Okay, so she disappeared from screen as of the moment. Okay, but
She'll be
she
back.
is
She'll be
coming
back.
back. All right, and then
For sure.
we have Victoria, Johanna Victoria Garcia. Okay, she graduated from Enfuego Christian Academy with the Leadership Award. And then for university, she graduated from De La Salle University Manila with a cum laude as her award. And then she is also a finalist for the Talk Time 10 Outstanding Co-eds, 10 Outstanding Young Men. I kind of want to tease, like a young lady after my own heart. Okay. All right. And she was the president of the Student Council of the College of Education in 2010. So hello, Hannah.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me. Hi Noah. Hi Miss Janina.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, this will be really interesting. Hannah and Noah and Pauline are actually part of the One Voice team. In fact, I love to say that Hannah and Pauline bring order to my chaos. Because I'm a big thinker, and Hannah and Pauline like breaking things down. Okay, and they're extremely responsible. And then Noah, of course, is extremely reliable also when it comes to going to different places, mission trips. He's always there ready with a camera, and he has a very, very, very good head on his shoulders, and he's a young man full of wisdom. So I'm really, really happy that these three will be available this afternoon, are available this afternoon to grace our episode. Okay, now, for some people, doing well in school comes automatically. For others, it doesn't. That makes me wonder. For you, Noah and Hannah, doing well
Oh,
in school, automatic? No.
No. It takes discipline rin right Noah?
I think yeah. I'm trying to remember. It's been a while. Um,
Or born
yeah,
genius,
no, no,
Noah?
no. But it is definitely a challenge, especially
Mm,
when you have to strive for excellence. You want to make sure
mm,
that you're not treating anything with less regard as opposed to other things. So yes, it
mm.
can be a challenge. It's definitely not easy.
Mm-mm.
Okay, yeah. Okay, now a lot of the reasons why school is very difficult with people, with students, no, is because of the mindset
Yeah.
of some. So, a good question is, do we think school is important enough that we should do our best in it? Or do we think that school is just one of those things that we need to finish to become a grown up? And then
Yikes,
we live
grown up.
life away from tests and projects and assignments. Sometimes I don't know how you guys felt, but when I was a student, I remember telling myself that I couldn't wait for things to finish.
Mm.
Although I was doing very, very well in school, no, but I felt that I felt that I was too fast, that kind of thing. And I was like, okay, maybe I can just do away with this. But again, there was also that part of me that said, no, 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 I have to do well because it is good that I do well. Okay, more about that later. Now, if we want to
Mhm.
do well in school, but we can't because of failure or because someone said something bad about our performance, what do we do? Okay. Now, one of the verses that I love as someone who went to school is found in Ecclesiastes 9:10, which says, "Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with your might, for there is no work or device or knowledge or wisdom in the grave where you are going." Okay, the
Mhm.
season of our schooling, it's just a little fraction. It's a fraction of our
Mm.
lives. While we're in it, we feel that it's long, especially if we have to do all that waking up, in Fuego. We come to school at 7, diba? You
Yes,
know,
7.
and then it's
7:30 for me. I live really near.
good for you, Noah. Yeah, these two are in Fuego. These two are my students. Okay.
Lifelong.
Yeah, I know.
Live. Okay, and so with this verse now, one of the things that we have to remember is, yes, it is for a while, but because it's for a while, am I just going to be watching the world go by, be an average student, just do what I can, or am I going to exert a lot of effort and choose to be excellent? Because that is a decision, no? And one of the things that I wrote here in my notes is this: do you want your season as a student to be full of life and excitement? The choice is actually yours. Yeah.
Hmm.
And if you have uh, if you have the kind of curriculum pa naman that is, pacework, I'm sure not every, okay, just to explain, pacework, like
Flashbacks.
flashback. Okay, you have
Seems like
little
an old
workbooks.
friend.
Put the friend in the enemy. Okay.
Ah,
All right. So we have little workbooks And then these workbooks correspond to the different subjects, like math, and then English, and then science. And there comes a point where you I don't know with the two of you, but for me, because there came a point where I was just like doing things like answering, then really only studying at the end, before the self test.
I think we all did that.
All did that.
Yeah,
We all did that
we had to do what we had to do in order to survive.
to survive and party. No, just kidding.
No doubt. Okay, but again, like if we were to zero in on that kind of mindset, was that honoring to God? Okay, and this one. Are we made to be average students? Yeah. Diba? It makes you think. Are we made to be average? Actually, even beyond studenthood, are we made to be average people? Or are we made for extraordinary things? Okay. As a student, you can choose to do your work with all your might. It really is a choice if you want to be diligent and faithful. It is a choice to study. It is a choice to say no to things like spending 5 hours on Netflix versus using that time to read your books. And if you're the type who has been diligent but you failed, like a while ago I was saying you failed, or maybe someone said something bad and you just felt so small and you were like, okay, I'm not going to do my best anymore. Okay, if you are someone who has lost energy because of something that happened at home or at school, guess what? You can actually still stand up. Huh? You can ask Jesus to help you. Remember Philippians 4:13? Okay, it says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. It's good to hold on to verses, no? Even if you're young. I remember when I was in high school, I would actually tape Bible verses all around my room, especially on my dresser mirror. And I'd memorize verses and I'd fill myself with these verses because no matter how difficult I thought that schooling was, and high school for me, kasi, just to give a background also, I was an extreme achiever. Grade 1 to grade 6, I was like first honor and no one could topple me. Like gold medal. And then first year to third year also, gold medal, but then I became sick. And
Yes, yes.
when I tried to come back to school, that was when I experienced, I experienced a lot of changes. I was like, wow, I'm not the same. I experienced weakness in a way that I never did before. And so I really had to find my strength again in the Lord. And I was like, Lord, yeah, you are my strength and I can do this. I can graduate with you. And so, I'm saying this to encourage people, students who are probably undergoing failure, who want to get back up, or something bad has happened. Philippians 4:13, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Noah, Hannah, do you have verses that you clung on to while you were students?
Um,
Go ahead, Anna.
well, okay, thanks, Noah. No one knows this because we were classmates in high school, but I
There you
don't
go.
think he knew that I repeated third year in high school because I wasn't a very good student back in high school for like a couple, maybe 2 years. So I repeated
Really?
third year. Yeah. So I'm part of that section of students that have failed and I lost energy and I lost interest to do well. So I graduated high school just because I wanted to get it over with. I didn't excel academically, but I excelled, with extracurricular stuff that the high school would offer. But when I went to college, there was a new fear na parang, oh, what if I fail my classes? What if I don't make friends? What if, the professors don't like me? I come from a small school, then I'm going to a big university. So one of the verses that I really clung onto, and I printed this verse out and then I stuck it onto the back of my folder. So whenever I open my folder to get yellow pad or whatever, I'd see Joshua 1:9. Have I not
Mm.
commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. And I was a very shy girl going into college. So this was, yeah.
Look at
No, it's like,
those
what?
kids. You
Shy?
shy?
Ikaw?
Yeah. Yeah, so my first term in college, I was really just a shy girl. Like, even if I knew the answers, I wouldn't speak up. In the group projects, I wouldn't speak up or anything. But, the Lord and His grace gave me the opportunity and the blessing to be strong and courageous. So,
Crazy.
Noah,
Wow.
your turn.
For me, I mostly clung on to this verse during my time in college because, yes, it was a challenge to keep my grades up in high school, but in college, well, I went to a relatively small college in Meridian International, and it was definitely enjoyable because we were able to create a lot of things. Me being in the film in taking up film in college in a creative course, and the school was basically brimming with creativity. And but like Hannah, during my first few years there, I was very shy, or not shy, but more of the quiet type. I wouldn't really hang out with a lot of people after the classes were done. I would usually go home after. It was usually around maybe my third or fourth year that I was starting to socialize more, collaborate more. So third and fourth year was really the time where I really enjoyed college. And the verse that I clung on to, actually, a funny thing is, during my graduation speech, I prepared something. I prepared like a spoken word poem to recite for my speech, since I was going to graduate magna cum laude, and so I was given that honor. And the funny thing is, as I was reciting what I had memorized, I wrote it down. It was original. I suddenly blacked out. So a similar incident happened in a class of mine with Ate Janina back
Speech
then.
class.
Yes, speech
Speechless.
class. So
Yes. Yes, I remember
but
that vividly.
yes, but this
Me
was
too.
different. Yeah, I know. I was crying. Um, but
Oh.
but during this graduation speech, when that happened, I figured, okay, this is happening again. So I said, "Wow, I forgot my whole speech," and everyone was laughing. I mean, turned it into something funny. I told them, "Well, I guess I'm going to have to make it up on the spot, huh?" And the first thing that came to mind was actually Jeremiah 29:11. Thank you, Lord. And
Mm.
Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Plans to give you hope in the future. So um, even though everything was a blank when I blacked out, and usually in a metaphorical and maybe literal sort of sense, a lot of us feel that way after we graduate. But it was nice to know that God took over that particular moment in my life, a graduation speech, and planted that verse. So it's just a good reminder that, you know, sometimes when we're placed in situations where we don't know whether the future is clear or not, He will deliver us kahit papano, when we really reach out to Him. And so that's the verse that sticks in my mind still because of that particular moment. So there.
Okay. Okay, wonderful.
And
Yeah.
Nicole is back.
Uh,
There you go.
and Nicole is back. I wonder if she was able to catch the question that I asked of you. Um, okay, she's just a little stationary.
Oh, there you go.
Pao, can you hear us? Can you hear us? Okay, well, she's having a little bit of a tech problem. Okay, one beautiful thing about God is no matter how young we are, even if we're just students in, let's say, elementary, high school, He wants to be so real to us. Really, really real to us. Okay, Pao, you're okay now? Can you hear us, Pao? Okay, I think there's still an issue with her sound. Okay, let's hope that it gets fixed very soon. Okay, one beautiful verse, another verse that is good for students is found in Colossians 3:23 to 24, which says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. And it is the Lord Christ you are serving." So again, this is from Colossians 3:23-24. And this makes us all the more, what it gives us that impetus to do our best, to be excellent in what we do, because our schooling is not really done just for us. It's actually done for the Lord. And if you have that mindset that, wait, I am studying for the Lord, I am dedicating this time of school, of my high school, if you're in college, my elementary years, I am dedicating this time to the Lord, and therefore, because it is for Him, then I will do my excellent best. I will be excellent in what I do. Okay, so school will benefit you, yes, but imagine it as one of the ways where you glorify the Lord. You can have that mindset. My schooling is for Jesus.
Mhm.
Huh? Yeah.
Amen.
Noah and Hannah, when you were still students, did you have that kind of realization that you going to school, you waking up, ultimately it wasn't just for yourself?
I guess I could say that both for my senior year in high school and my senior year in college, because my senior year in high school, that was like the year after I repeated a certain
Wow.
level. So I was like, okay, so I gotta do my best, not just for myself, not just for my parents, but it's because it's what the Lord expects from me. And even in college, during my first year, I was just like, okay, I just won't get into any problems. I won't fail classes. I'll just be on the dean's list. But the Lord called us to do so much more than that. So during my second, third
Yes.
year, that's when I got involved in orgs. I got to meet other people, to network, student council, scholarship. So it's great that you are in the dean's list and you're passing your classes. But if your schooling is for Jesus, if that's your mindset, then you can reach excellence and go for excellence.
Yeah. And I guess, I love what you said about the other things aside from academics. And it's so true.
Yeah.
Academics, passing your grades, that's just one part of schooling, I
Mm-mm.
believe. But
Mm-mm.
there are
Yeah.
other areas that can be developed. And for you,
Yeah.
Hannah, it was really in the leadership aspect, no?
Yes. Yes.
And the
And
same thing for you, Noah.
also forming relationships with the people you go to school with, because some people, they go to school and be like, it's every man for himself, and if I excel, then good. But you also have to make connections with the people around you.
Yes. Yes, yes. Wise stuff. Okay, Noah, do you want to add anything to that?
On my end, um, going off what Hannah mentioned about creating relationships, I think that was the more important factor for me during college, especially since I was able to mingle with different kinds of people for
Mm-mm.
projects and and I think, yeah, it was not. I was part of a dean's list every now and then, but I don't
You
think I.
graduated Magna.
Yeah, but I
We
don't.
had
But
to
I,
say
I
that. Okay.
but I don't think that was my main focus. It was more on who I was going to be during my 4 years there
Hmm.
in college. Like uh yeah, I was known in my school. You could say that people knew me because of my works, I suppose. But um what was important to me is that it was more, my parents would always tell me that character surpasses achievements, especially academic
Yes.
achievements, because
True.
achievements at the end of the day, yes, they are very important, but um when you grow old, who's going to really remember that? It's more on who you were as a person during
Mm-mm.
the time that you were
Yes.
given. So what the nice thing about my time in college is that even until now, whenever I get freelance projects, they still tap me, or I work together with my friends in school, because I decided not to get involved in conflicts, in petty arguments and everything. I
Yeah.
really just wanted to cherish the relationships
Mm-mm.
that I had. And the big blessing is that until this day, when I have projects, I'm able to hire not only my classmates or the people I studied with, but freshmen even, um, upcoming students in the school right now. So, um, long story short, I think character definitely has to be taken into consideration when it comes to achieving in a sort of academic setup. So there.
Yeah, I love what you said, Noah. Character being so important, and yeah, who you are going to be. Honing that, using the time of school to develop
Mm-mm.
the person that you are going to be. I think that's beautiful. That's a
Mm-mm.
nugget of wisdom right there.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's good to remember also that school is a good place to learn what you can. Um,
Mm-mm.
uh, maybe as what Hannah said, no, she was shy the first two the first 2 years,
Hindi
but
ako
the third and
hindi
fourth
ako
year,
makapaniwalang
she
shy si
stretched.
Hannah.
Actually, I believe that. I believe that because that was also my journey. First year,
Mm-mm.
second year, I was so shy. Classroom
Yes.
projects, I wasn't speaking. But third year,
Mm-mm.
Allah, I was also sucked into leadership. And fourth
Yeah.
year, I
Yeah.
was like, all over the place again. So, it actually makes sense also to allow yourself to grow. You can take baby
Mm-mm.
steps, maybe the first 2 years, yeah, baby steps, and
Yes.
then
We're in the cocoon. And then third year,
yeah.
boom, I'm a beautiful butterfly. Achieving. No,
Okay, so okay, so it's really really wonderful that we are able to talk this way, and as a teacher, no, it gives me joy that I can actually
Mm.
talk to my former students this way. And in fact, in one voice, we have this to know Noah and to know Hannah, and even Pau, although Pau was never really my student in academics, no, but now it's like, Ate, can you mentor me? Okay, and I'm like, okay, here you go. All right. But one of the beautiful things as a teacher is knowing that you guys also have matured, and there is this friendship that we can share. And
Yes.
I love that in generations, because even above me, generations of my mother, for example, my dad, I can actually go to my mom's friends also and go, hey tita, what do you think about this, what do you think about that, and find
Mm.
wisdom coming from those who are from the older generation, and still pay attention
Mm-mm.
also to the wisdom coming
Yeah.
from the younger, like you
Yes.
and like the two of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Learning
so
should never stop. I think some
yes.
people have that mindset, okay, I'm done with school, so I'm done with my studying or learning phase. But learning doesn't just come in the classroom. It happens also in
Mm,
relationships, in life, and experiences. So learning is not something that should be stopped. It's something that we should enjoy and keep looking for. What can I learn? What can I do? How can I achieve? So those are
Mm.
things that we should
And
keep in mind.
yes, and to add to that, I don't think learning should be restricted by age. I think you can learn, yes, from those older than you, those with more experience, but I think you can also collect nuggets of wisdom from those younger than you, because you never know what they have to bring to
yes.
the table. We all have different
Mm.
experiences, we all have
Yeah.
different upbringings, so there's always something to be taken from, conversations with different kinds of people.
Mm-mm.
So I think the important thing is to just have an open mind and just listen, really listen.
Yeah,
There.
yeah. Thank you very much, guys. Wonderful stuff. And I just want to add this thing, and also because I'm a lit major, I love books. Okay, you can actually learn a lot from books.
Yes,
Yes.
very true. Very, very true.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, and there's a reason why Shakespeare hasn't died yet, in a sense. The wisdom of his writings live on. So, guys, read your stuff, especially if you want to be writers. Oil your words by reading. Okay, now we've come to the part of our episode where I am going to ask you um, deeper questions regarding your academics. I have
Wala,
the names
bunutan,
of
bunutan.
Wala.
yes.
Labasan na ng TOR.
Oo nga.
Transcript of
I'm
record.
like
No, just
my little teapot.
All
Okay,
right.
without
okay.
a lid. Okay,
Right.
uh,
Noah,
okay,
cheers.
Nicole is still having a hard time coming in, no? Coming back in. So I'm going to remove Pau's name. Uh, I'm a little loath that she isn't able to join us.
Next time,
Okay.
Mm.
next episode. Abangan.
No, no, malay mo
Abangan.
like mag-pop out lang siya. Pao's not gonna allow herself to not be part of this achievers circle. She's like, "Huh, I'm back, guys."
We love you, Pao.
Yes, we do. All right. Okay, so, okay. This person. Okay. Hannah,
Yes.
what
Yan.
challenge did you have as a student achiever?
I think it's more of like time management and
Okay.
balancing everything, because on my third year I was part of the pep squad.
Uh-huh.
I was part of the achiever scholarship program, so I had to keep my grades up, so I can keep my scholarship. I was the president. And then, of course, the normal day to day, you have a quiz, you have an exam, you have a book report. So just time management and balancing everything out and not being too burned out on one aspect. So time management and just balancing. But it was fun.
Okay.
A lot of the hardships I went through on my third year, I got to learn from it, and the things I learned from there, I bring now into the workplace, because when you're an adult, when you're adulting, there are more responsibilities. So I'm enjoying it.
Okay. Thanks, Hannah. Okay, next question will be for Noah.
Okay.
Okay, share something memorable. Although I know, Kanina, you shared already your blanking out, during your speech. Okay, but aside from that, share something memorable from your life as a student.
Oh, what is a lot of it has to do with the collaborations that I took part in, like with
Mm-hmm.
the short film projects that I did. Because while um, in my school during the time there were no orgs. When I entered my
Mm.
school, it was only 3 years, 2 or 3 years old. So, and I didn't really start any orgs. I didn't join any. I didn't really feel the need because I was already doing other extracurricular things. Like when I wasn't doing studies, I was making projects with the friends that I made there. So whatever festival I was able to join, most of it was a result of of whatever kalokohan we did came up with. So most one of the most memorable things I remember was a collaboration we did during my third year. It was a this one. It was entitled Mukha. It was a silent experimental short film, and me and my collaborator, she was the musician. She was also my co-writer. We decided to make something evangelistic, and so fast forward to the actual screening. It was scored live, so there was a drum, cello, violin, and if I remember correctly, guitar. And the whole thing was silent. And during that screening, the most rewarding thing about it was to find that many people were blessed by it. And that
Mm.
wasn't the last time it was screened. It was screened with live scoring several times over the past few years. And um, one thing that one thing that I really got from there was that people were touched by how they could relate with it, because it has something to do with finding one's identity in Christ and not in what the world has to offer. And I
Mm.
wouldn't want to say it's hypocritical, because after I made the film, I've been through periods in my life where the world's tug was pretty strong. But but I think it's a very good reminder where in whichever stage you are, whether you've gone past that stage already, you're still in that stage, or haven't gone into that stage. So making projects like that, those were some of the more memorable events, moments during my time in college, and I don't regret any of them.
Okay, thanks, Noah. Wonderful sharing. Okay, I'm not gonna look at my pieces of paper na lang because it's just the two of you, so I go. All
Palette,
right, so
palette.
Hannah,
No
yeah,
problem.
1 2 1 2. Okay, so Hannah, what best thing? So just choose one. What best
Okay.
thing did you learn as a student achiever?
Um, I I think the best thing that I've learned is you need to trust in God, because
Yes.
you
Mm.
can work so hard and you can study all night for that exam and still fail and still
That's
fail
true.
it, right? Or you can choose the best group mates and still, you'll have one that's a freeloader. So maybe it
Lag,
will bring the group
laging
down.
ganon. Laging
Alam mo
ganon.
yun, ikaw ba yun, Noah? Hindi, joke lang. No,
Hindi.
no, I'm sure
Ako
hindi.
Freeloader.
parating leader eh.
No, no. Yun, may isang magpiprint lang, ganon. You guys know it. So, you really just have to trust God in everything, who your group mates are, who your profs are, your schedule. Because when you learn to trust God and you let go, it will take so much off, like the stress and anxiety that you feel as a student
Yes.
achiever. So,
Yes.
trust
Yes.
God.
Okay. Wow. Thank you. So, guys, pocket that piece of advice. Trust God. Okay, and yes, you're gonna fail. I mean,
Yeah. Even
it's
achievers
a
fail.
No,
yeah, it's a
it's
part of
good to
life.
fail. It's good to
It
fail because how
is.
will you
It
learn?
It's
is.
a lesson. Yeah.
Yeah, and it also makes you assess where you find your identity, where
Mm-hmm.
you find your approval. I think
Yes.
I can share a little bit at this part, no? But me kasi, one of the things I realized was so much of my identity before was based on what I achieved. So when I
Mm-mm.
was undergoing that week time, like not even finishing my requirements at a certain quarter, I realized that hey, who am I? I was asking myself, who am I really? Am I Janina only identifying with awards, or am I more than that? And I think for achievers, one of the things that God loves to do is make us find our identity in Him. That even when the awards are stripped away, we're still our whole selves because of who Jesus is in our lives.
Hmm.
And that's very, very important. The worth that He gives to us because we are His kids. That's something. The Father God is our daddy. That already speaks volumes. Of course, it doesn't mean that just because we're part of God's family, it doesn't mean that we're going to be lax with our studies. Again, let's be excellent. All
Mag-aral ka
right.
rin, guys.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Noah, next question would be any tips to give to students who are struggling to receive their breakthrough in academics?
Mag-aral lang kayo. De joke lang.
Ikaw talaga.
Okay, what's this? I think what is very important is that there should be a balance because yes, you should study very hard, but don't make it your whole life.
Yeah.
You need to relax, you need to spend time with your family and your friends. There just needs to be a healthy balance. So, kayo na lang bahala kung paano siyang tansyahin yung schoolwork and everything. There just needs to be a healthy balance because too much of something is bad for you. Too much laziness will get you nowhere, but too much academics
Yes.
will make you burn out and it might
Mm-mm.
make you resent it. So there really just needs to be
Yeah.
a healthy balance. Very important, lalo na ngayon because people
Yes.
there's this pressure in our generation to
Yeah.
to surpass each other, lalo na since people are pressured because people younger than them are achieving new heights, becoming
Mm-mm.
hard to reach.
Mm.
It's not good to compare. Isa pa yun, do not compare yourself with other
Yeah.
people kasi all of us
Yes.
have our own private
Journey.
journeys and you
Yes.
don't know where that person comes from, kung saan siya nanggagaling, kung bakit ganun siya. You have to just focus on your own journey, but at the same time, help those who are struggling around you and celebrate those who are victorious. So really, just balance. Very, very important.
Yes. Thank you, Noah, for that. Okay, I'm going to jump questions because we're
All right.
almost at the end of this part.
Okay.
Okay, because of the pandemic, everyone is going online. Schools are
Yes.
going online. So, what can you say about this? What can you say to students who are adjusting to this new normal of education?
Hana, ikaw,
All right.
bilang teacher.
Oh yeah. Hi. So former student, now a teacher, and I'm glad this question came to me because I want to remind you guys that just because you're home and you're learning through a screen doesn't mean that this is anything less than what you're going to learn in school. So stick to the routines that you have when you are in physical face-to-face school, such as getting dressed. You wouldn't go to school na hindi pa naliligo, di ba? So maligo kayo, mag-brush kayo ng teeth, and have a designated workspace free from distractions. Also, do your best. Don't
Yes.
let this year at home pass by, like typing your way through academics. Do your best, learn as much as you can, and strive for excellence, even through online distance learning. So,
Mm-hmm. Very
Okay,
good.
thank you. Do you have anything to add, Noah?
Yes, actually, because of the pandemic, I had to stop doing freelance work, and I got into online tutoring. I became an online tutor for Chinese students, and
Mm.
I'll be transitioning to Japanese. So what I can say is, yeah, funny thing, I became a teacher too. But what I can say to students is, yes, always do your best and take advantage of your privilege. Like, not everyone has internet connection, not everyone has
Yes.
access to education. Please do not take it for granted. Kasi maraming tao sa Manila na they want to learn, man. They want to use their time
Mm.
to step up, but they can't because kulang yung mga resources, kulang yung mga oportunidad. So please do not take it for granted. If you have time, if you have the resources, use it wisely and get what you can. Yun lang.
Okay, okay, wow. Thank you, Noah. Thank you, Hannah. And, guys, there's so much wisdom that is being laid in front of you. Wisdom calls out aloud in the streets, and it's being called out aloud here online. So, wow, thank you, guys. All right. Okay, you know what? We have two guests this afternoon, although the two of you, in
Yeah.
a sense, are guests too, but no, you're part of the team. Okay. But
Correct.
two wonderful guests, and one of them is a fantastic, fantastic person. We released part one of her article on the magazine, no? OneVoiceMagazine.com, in the magazine. So I hope you guys have been able to read it, but we are going to read it out loud this afternoon, at least a portion of it. Okay, so let's look at some of the diary entries of Catherine. Yeah, Catherine and Victoria Fernandez. Okay, that's one. That's like a beautiful screenshot. Okay. All right. Okay. So, Noah, if you can read.
All right. So Katherine's story for radio. Okay. So during my first winter in the US, I underwent seasonal affective disorder, which spiraled into clinical depression. I was barely functional, and I was beginning to forget who I was and why I had gone abroad to study music in the first place. I wanted to quit music and quit life. However, in the early spring, my darkened mind experienced a moment of clarity and lightness, like a deep gulp of air after being submerged underwater. I wrote this diary entry during the respite. God reminded me of my identity and gave me a game plan. All right, so this is from her journal entry from March 12, 02, beginning to dream again. So the Philippines is your home, Catherine. You will invest in her people. You will create your community of love there. You will give them hope and will teach them how to reach for their dreams. Wow. Your mission is to open the eyes of students, children, and adults alike to their limitless potential within, to motivate them, to inspire them into developing themselves as God-fearing people, to help others harness their strengths and become forward-thinking, productive contributors to Philippine society. So it says here, my dad gave me a thick spiral notebook for journaling when I was 11 years old. I only started using it when I was in college and in my early 20s. This journal, of all my diaries, contains many of the key decision points of my life as a young person. How to move forward in career, marriage, and faith. My parents always told me to write things down to clarify my thoughts and plans, to give direction to my energy, and to remember what God has spoken to me. And so whenever I leaf through my journal, particularly when I revisit the entry below, I praise God for how He made known the blueprint for my life at a young age. And then this one is my calling as musician, missionary, and mentor from my journal entry in 2001, all the way back then. To make many Filipinos passionate about quality music, to make many Filipinos excited about exploring and developing their musical gifts excellently at any level, to expose many Filipinos to quality musical performances, audio and teaching materials, to inspire many Filipino musicians, to invest in developing Filipino talent, to see music as an effective medium for the gospel, and to use music to reveal the character of God, to become a cultural leader, raising Filipinos' level of consciousness through education, media, and the arts.
Wow,
Wow.
wonderful.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if you kept journals as students, but I actually did. Did you, Noah and Hannah?
I
I
kept I started journaling after college na, and I wish I started sooner.
I did when I was in high school, sporadically when I was in college. Now, every now and then.
Okay, and I find it amazing that a beautiful journal entry, Dreaming Again, that was written by Catherine, came during a difficult season of her life. And we're going to ask her more about this. Okay, so who is Catherine Ann Victoria Fernandez? Okay, Catherine graduated valedictorian from the Philippine High School for the Arts in 1996. She graduated summa cum laude from the University of the Philippines, Diliman in 2001. And she was an awardee of the 10 outstanding students of the Philippines UP Alumni Association Outstanding Graduate, UP Gawad Chancellor Pinakamahusay na Estudyante. She was a
Nice.
member of the Phi Kappa Phi Honor Society, and she earned scholarships from the Star Foundation and the Masterworks Festival, and she received highest distinction in her graduate studies at the Towson University in Maryland. Aside from these, she's been the winner in different competitions, such as the 2003 Liberman. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, Catherine. Liberman
Yes, you are.
competition. The 2003 notables from Anne Arundel County competition, and the UP Millennium Piano competition, and many more. So, welcome to One Voice Radio,
Hi.
Catherine.
Parang hindi. Parang ibang tao ang pinag-uusapan niyo.
Welcome po
I
to One
really
Voice.
enjoyed listening to the youth, you guys. You have so much wisdom for your years. And I'm learning. I'm learning again just by listening to
Aw.
you. Thank you. Thank you for
Praise
inviting
God.
me.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you for the honor.
Thank you. Yes, and I'm so glad. We're so glad that you are here to also share the wisdom that God has been showing you, sharing to you through your journey as a student. Okay, so Catherine, when it comes to being a student achiever, what was it like for you? Was it stressful? Was it fun?
Okay. Well, let me just give a little background now. I was very fortunate. Actually, Janina and I were very fortunate. Kababata kami. We grew up in the same school, so our parents knew each other. They're actually very good friends. And I think our parents did a very good job teaching us to be academically excellent.
They
Just by the kind
did.
of environment that we had in the house. All of Janina's siblings are also achievers in their own right. So it's consistent. So there was a lot of nurture there. Aside from of course the DNA of our parents are also superior. Joke lang.
Yeah. Actually, yes.
Nurture and nurture. So anyway, yes, it started in early childhood, I believe. No, so the seeds were planted. I grew up with my grandparents. So when my parents were newly married, they stayed with my grandparents, and I absorbed the academic environment there at the house. My mom had 7 brothers, and they were all young men at that time, and they were all achievers also. So they were all studying in Ateneo. My lolo is a violinist, and he was a cardiologist, and a world-class cardiologist at that. He's a national scientist. He was the one who promoted coconut oil, etc. So he's a brilliant man. So yeah, I grew up in that environment. There were books everywhere. Everybody was speaking in impeccable English. So when I went to high school and my classmates were from the province, they were all of course some of them were teasing me. You know how it is when you're Inglesera, but but they were
I can
asking me, why
relate.
is your English like that? It's because of the environment. So I think from the get-go there was an initial advantage there. So the Lord just happened to create an environment to be able to sustain that. I believe. No, so small school setting, where the teachers were mostly our parents. And
Yes.
I just want to share this now, because aside from principals, I just want to give a little story. They were our parents, so they really cared for us. There was that level where our home economics teacher was one classmate's mom, the PE teacher was another classmate's mom, and that was my mom. Yeah, also the sewing teacher was my mom, the reading teacher was my mom, and my dad was the principal of the school. Had a
Yes,
big
I remember that.
had a big bearing, because I think it helped with the security. Not that I wanted to be taught by my parents. There's some resistance sometimes, when you're being taught by your own mom and dad. But having them in the same vicinity as me gave me extra security. That whatever, if somebody bullies me, or if something doesn't go my way during the day, I could run to them and I could get a hug from them. So that really helped. And I just right now that God is revealing himself more to me as a father, I realized that initial experience with a father figure, an actual father figure in the school, who was my own dad, was a really big help for me to be able to identify also with the care that God gives his children. So I had that underlying framework, and I carried that with me, I believe, all throughout my school life, even when I was away from my parents. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, and because when I was in high school, I dormed. I was studying at the Philippine High School for the Arts, so I only saw my parents during weekends. So that was another test. No? So from having them in my face 24/7 during my school years, to having them not in my face at all. No, having them in my face during the weekends. And during the weekends, I was also busy because I had to be shuttled to my piano lessons, my music theory lessons, and then back to CCP to take a shuttle to the mountain. So I saw less of them, but then because of that bond, I still felt secure. And then later on, when I went to college, I stayed with another father figure, and my grandparents were my father and mother figure then. And I also learned so much from them, because they were in their 70s, so they had so much to teach me. And so I had the benefit of having breakfast and dinner with them. Lunch, I was in school. Yeah, and the added discipline of, I had to get all my schoolwork done by 4 o'clock. I was
Wow.
going to school in UP. So I had to, I packed my schedule kasi free sked kami sa music. I graduated from music. So I started at 7 in the morning, and then I didn't stop until 4 o'clock. There was rarely a time that I extended my classes beyond 4 o'clock. Why? Because my lola had to go to mass at 5. So kailangan makauwi ako para yung driver ang sumundo sa akin, kasi pag 5 o'clock, yung lola ko naman ang magbimisa. And she had sent the driver with her. So that helped regulate my time. It helped a lot with
That's
time.
incredible discipline, huh? Like with that. Yeah, and I
And
love
four is so early. 4 p.m. is so early in the day.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, for me, oo. Yeah, so I was in bed by 10 or 11. Honestly, in college, I never pulled out all-nighters. As in,
Okay.
yeah, never, never, never.
Wow,
Ganyan.
that's rare, huh? That's rare. And
Yeah,
for you to be able to accomplish so
rare.
much and get
Oo.
enough sleep.
And
Wow.
then, so yeah, so I would be in bed from 11 until 5 or 6. That's it. So a very regulated schedule. I think that also helped. So once I was in school, my energy level was, already there. It was high up, and then I was able to sustain it. Continuing the circadian rhythm. No, now that I'm learning about circadian rhythm and all of that, diba? It was really during the daytime, and I was active during the daytime. I rarely took the Jeep. I would walk to all of my venues. I just made sure I was hydrated. I would eat my lunch in class, and then just
Mhm.
continue. So pagdating ng 4 o'clock, when I entered the car, I would nap in the car. When I got home, I was ready to do my schoolwork na and my practice.
Wow. Wow. Catherine, I'll just comment on something so important that you said. Your parents being your first teachers. And
Yes.
I think for everybody to realize that it's so important, in a way we really have to honor our parents also as our first teachers, to remember that God has given them a huge level of wisdom and knowledge to pass to us, and
Mm-hmm.
it is wise to listen to them. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. That's it's really huge. And I think my spirit also absorbed that because one my actually, having achieved all of these things early in my life, uh saan ako napadpad, naging nanay ako ng limang anak, ng limang bata. And I think God meant it to be that way. I'm really proud of the fact that I have 5 kids because yes, I get to, practice everything that I was shown at an early age with them. And my childhood memories are clear. Eh. So, that means I enjoyed my childhood, and I really hope that I'm giving my kids a good childhood also, something that they can build upon, just like it had been for me.
Okay.
All right, very good. Okay, so next question. All right. So first of all, wow, very great. And my question would be, can you share something memorable or rather pivotal in your life as a student that made you see that breakthrough that really got you going in life, where like
Yeah.
where you were able to reach eventually?
Yes. Oo. Yeah. Well, there were several. The first one was in the fact that I did not pass my high school test. My
Oh,
Philippine High School for the Arts audition. Kasi yung style dun sa Makiling, it's like Pisay but for the arts, no. So, you have two tests. So it's like entering the College of Music. You have an IQ test, and then you have an audition for your instrument. And I auditioned for piano. I wanted to be a piano major. Masyado mababa yung level ko. I was like, actually my son Daniel, who is 10, he's playing more advanced pieces than I was.
wow. I never knew this.
So, ano, yeah. So I was extremely underqualified. But I went to the audition, and then the person who auditioned me, he happened to be a composition major, and he wanted to experiment with somebody for as a compo major, and I would have been the very first composition major of the school. So why did he choose me? There were two reasons. Number one, I had the highest IQ test. So go paces. Yeah, since I'm also a graduate
I'm sorry, I laughed too hard at that.
of paces.
Go paste.
Okay. Yeah, go paces. So there I had a high score on my IQ test, and I also had a high score in my music theory test. So apparently I have perfect pitch. So just based on potential perfect pitch, that's not enough to to determine that somebody is creative in music. um but then he took that, and then he said, I think you're gonna be good as a composition major. Come, you join the school anyway kahit hindi ka pasado sa piano. So that's how I got in by a freak accident of having the correct person proctor my exam. Because if that had been a piano major proctoring the exam, I would not have been qualified to enter. So I got in. That's one breakthrough. So when I got in, oh my goodness, I realized that composition was not for me. I shifted, and it took me some time to get up to the level of my other classmates. In fact, what I would do, because I felt really bad, I felt bad that I was scholar ng bayan. They kept on rubbing it in our faces. That your taxpayers' money is funding your education, so you need to do your best. Blah blah blah. Ganyan. So, I didn't want to be a mediocre student. That I knew. So, you know what I did? I would skip lunch, and I skipped lunch for 4 years. And I used
Wow.
those extra 2 hours kasi 2 hours ang lunch break namin in Makiling. So in the morning, we had our academics from 7 to 12. Then we break from 12 to 2. So a lot of the kids, they sleep, they putter around, they get ready. But then me, I was practicing for those extra 2 hours. And then 2 to 6 is arts time. So by the time that 6 o'clock was done, iba talaga ang energy kapag bata. So I was practicing for 6 hours, sometimes with no lunch. Nagpapabaon lang ako ng lunch. Pero minsan hindi binibigay sa akin. So or I was too busy practicing. So I would be practicing for 6 hours. That's I think what developed the stamina for me to be able to um to continue in that mode, in that flow when I was in college. So in college naman, the second memorable experience I have is when I didn't know what course to take. No, so even if I took music, I still didn't know whether I was supposed to take music in college. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life at that point. But I told God, God, sige, if music is for me, and I know that many other pianists are so much better than me, this is my sign. Can I ask for a sign? My piano teacher kasi, she's notorious. She was notorious for telling her piano students, wag ka na lang mag-music, pumili ka na lang ng ibang major, masyadong mahirap ang music.
Sakit
So,
nun.
she would tell people that, and she told me that, ha. So I said, okay, God, if my piano teacher tells me that I am capable of graduating as a musician, then let her tell me. And you know what? That very weekend, so I prayed it on a Thursday. On a Friday, I had a lesson with her, and then she said, "So, Katherine, are you going to be taking music for college? Because if you do, aalagaan kita. You're going to graduate summa cum laude."
Wow.
Wow, how
I have a feeling
prophetic
that was
this
very
teacher.
prophetic.
Sobra, yeah. So the words that we speak over our students
Yes.
are
Yes.
Grabe, buti na lang mapag-alaga yan. Wow. Nice.
yes. Well, honestly, I feel that my teacher, I have to mention her name, Carmencita Guanzon Arambulo. She is one of the most prolific music teachers in the entire country. And if there was a national artist for music education, it would be her. Honestly, I have to say. Yeah. So I have her to thank for that. So yeah, that became a very clear image in my mind. And so when she said that, I said, okay, somebody believes in me. Then that means I can gun for it. So that was my mindset for the entire 5 years I was in music school.
All right.
Wow. Galing. If someone believes in you, no?
Yeah, it's the belief.
Grabe what that can do. Yeah.
Actually,
okay.
malaking bagay talaga yun. Mm-mm.
Okay.
So actually, on that note, no, because I acknowledged my teacher, I have to acknowledge my parents also, because their belief has been unwavering until now. Their belief is still unwavering. So Alberto and Gina Fernandez. Hi, if
Hi,
you're watching.
Pastor. Hi, Tita Gina.
Yes.
Patag na lang
I
dyan,
love
comment.
Yeah, thank you, Mama and Papa, for making me who I am.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ate Katherine. We actually have another question for you. Like, for one, I'm so glad I got to jump in finally, and at least catch this part of the show. And seeing your story and hearing about your story is something that also really blesses a lot of people, including me. And for the students that we have that are listening now, would you have any tips that you can give them if they want to be an achiever in school? Like, practically speaking, what are the steps that they can take if they want to be an achiever as well?
Okay. Well, okay, as I mentioned before, no, it really helps to have a nurturing environment. Okay, but then if you don't, then okay, the very first step I have is make sure that Jesus Christ is your personal Lord and Savior. Because once you accept that that Jesus is the solution for every problem in your life, then the Holy Spirit automatically comes in, and then He's the one who guides you. And He's the one who's going to be your source of wisdom. Well, I wrote this down, no? Peace, wisdom, and courage. You need to be at peace in your heart for you to be able to do any kind of work. And I know this for a fact because, diba, when you're clinically depressed, you're not at peace. So when you're not at peace, you can't do anything. No matter what, diba, you try to pull yourself out of bed. You have all of these ideas in your mind, and your body is not able to do what you know should be done. And then you start to stress over it, and then you get more anxious, etc., etc. So that's the spiral. And if so, people who are in that state of unrest, you really need the peace that surpasses all understanding to guard your heart and mind. So that peace and trust. See, Hannah mentioned trust a while ago. So trusting in the Lord is very important. And then the Holy Spirit is going to be your source of wisdom. Kanina, you were sharing your verses, no? So my verse all throughout, actually since I was 5 or 6 years old, this was one of the very first memory verses that we had in ACE in school, no, but this was not in the paces. I don't remember this being in the paces. James 1:5. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to him. And I like that verse because even if you're a sinner, if you ask God for wisdom, He'll give it to you
He'll
generously.
give.
Not judging or condemning you. He'll give it to you. So there. So for anybody with any guilt trips or shame issues, just you ask God for wisdom. Okay pa rin. Yeah. So that's one. That's another one. No. Then of course when God is in your life, you know that that the bigger man is on your side, and you'll be able to conquer anything. So you'll feel courage. So fear of public speaking, fear of commuting, lahat yan. I don't know, for some reason, during the years that I was in school, I really felt like I was in on a super highway. There were hard times. There were a lot of hard times. There was bullying, etc. But then, for the most part, I really felt that God cushioning everything. So, it was actually after I graduated when I felt that He was taking the boundaries off, so that I could learn other lessons, naman. Ganyan. So, but then for school, when we were talking about school, it's really the Holy Spirit who will give you all of this, and He will do it for you because you're young. You're young. He wants to prove himself in the life of a young person. Yeah, especially in kids. He's
That's true.
building history with children.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, I
and
love
so
that
there.
about him.
So he'll do it for a kid.
Okay,
That's
okay.
beautiful.
Um,
That's so
Miss
true.
Kat, after hearing all your stories of your student life, and we know by now that sobrang like you really strove for excellence as a student. So how has being excellent as a student helped you in other areas of your life?
Okay. Well, so I had a Jan experience also, where when I was in the US, and when I snapped out of clinical depression, I was no longer the same. So, and
Mm,
parang
Mm,
I forgot how to be excellent academically.
mm-mm,
It was a struggle for me to read books. It was a struggle for me to
mm-mm,
even hold a thought in my mind. It would just fly away. So that's something that God is still healing until now.
mm.
Wow.
But then in the meantime, He gave me the most wonderful husband. Hi, Jerry.
Hi, Jerry.
Yeah. So Jerry is a big gift. He's really a big gift kasi siya naging ano ko sandigan in a way. He became a shoulder to lean on, for these times na iba na yung season ko. But then the memories of being excellence, I believe, are being transferred to my kids. And now,
Mm.
of course, pandemic, no, but then God has been speaking to me for a long time to homeschool. Actually, I've always
Okay.
wanted to homeschool ever since dalaga ako. Gusto ko na mag-homeschool, even before I got married. But then, the time is now. Kumbaga, it's the right time. It's the season. So now there are no excuses. Everybody's doing it. But then, I'm not with an online school for two of my kids. So my younger
Mm.
two kids, and then my youngest is still a baby. He's still 11 months old. So my younger two kids are going to be on open curriculum, and I'm designing their curriculum. So
Wow.
yeah, so now that's the project. So to be able to motivate them, ewan ko lang ha, I mean, kumbaga, it's different kasi when you're a parent, the way that your children respond to you as a parent is different from the way they respond to you as a teacher,
Yes,
right?
that's
So
true.
that's
Mm,
going to be a
mm,
big challenge. And so
yeah.
right now, what we're working on talaga, aside, of course, character is a given, di ba? Character is given. So also still trust and obedience. My children have to
mm.
learn how to trust that whatever I say and whatever their dad says is kumbaga, it works because
It's
we've gone
credible.
through
Yeah.
it, diba? So, it's to their benefit if they learn how to obey us. That's going to be the challenge
Yes.
now.
Yes. Okay. Catherine, before we go to our very last question, which is to ask you for your last words, for this segment of the episode, I just want to pick up on something really important that you mentioned, because you mentioned that you had clinical depression. And so I'm sure viewers are wondering, how did you get up from the slump? if it's still a struggle now, what are you doing to be able to fly, soar, at
Right.
least, get on
I
with
know.
life and not be
Yeah.
defeated. Yeah, not be
Yeah.
defeated by it.
Again, number one, history with God. Because
Hmm.
God has proven himself so much in my life. I have no excuse to not trust him. That that it's not over. Kumbaga, this is not hindi ito ang huling hantungan ng buhay ko.
Yeah.
'Di ba? So my story is still continuing. So, excellence is not just for one season. It's a long drawn
Hmm.
out thing. And then, for example, what if one of us gets into an accident, 'di ba? Or are we no longer going to be excellent in the sight of God
Hmm.
because we're not able to do the same thing? So, if we're dealing with something heavy, that becomes a part of what has to be overcome. So to celebrate small victories, I think helps. Ganyan to actually well, I have to learn this pa to lower expectations of myself, not be too hard on myself because maaring nakayanan ko dati yung pagsusuma pero ngayon bihisan ko lang yung 5 kong anak, 'di ba? Pakainin ko sila ng tama sa isang araw. Victory sa
Yeah.
akin 'yan, 'di ba? Naturuan ko sila maglaba, naturuan ko sila mag-garden kahit ayaw nila. 'Di ba? Even they don't wanna wash the dog because the dog stinks, but they do it anyway. Those are my victories now. So, so that's my learning. That's my school now. Yeah. So there.
Okay.
And then okay, but then going back now, how did God allow me to pull myself out of it? You know what it was? Okay. This was winter time, no? Buti na lang my roommate during my masters was a college student who was a very strong Christian. And she had audio Bible cassette tapes. O, di ba? Sino nakakaalam ng
Mm.
cassette?
Kasi,
Ano po yan?
Me.
Joke lang.
yeah.
It's okay for,
Okay.
for some
Okay.
millennials.
Google mo na lang. So anyway, I put it inside my Walkman. And then
Wow,
I would
Walkman.
and then I would jog with the
Iba yun.
headphones. And then, and this was in sub-zero weather, ha. Because it was still winter. It was around February. And I would go out in my shorts just to wake me up. And I would go jogging and listen to the word of God. I said, God, I don't want to, because I already went to a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist was telling me to take all these drugs. And I said, I don't want to take drugs like that. I don't want. That's not my culture. Ganyan. So anyway, um, after a month of running and reading the word of God, I stopped in the middle of the road. And then I just looked at the sky and said, my world isn't dark anymore. It doesn't feel dark. Parang the sky just turned blue again. And I felt the light. Yeah. So then I praised God in the middle of the street. I acknowledged that it was really His word. His word has cleansing power, talaga, over clinical depression.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah. So
Amen.
there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Wow, thank you, Katherine. We can go on and on and on. It's rare that we have someone of the caliber of Katherine that is with us. Although,
Mhm.
looking at the other people on the screen, I'm like, you guys are also of high caliber. Okay.
Saying lahat.
It's like I want to delete what I just said. Okay, but Katherine, super duper last words before we go to before we end this first part of this first hour. We're actually over the first hour already, but super last words.
Okay, you have a question here. Do medals and trophies still matter to me? No, they don't anymore. But they matter to young people. It's good to keep them motivated. They need to be encouraged as much as
That's wisdom
possible.
right there.
Yes. So right now, I live for the audience of one. He's the one who
Amen.
watches. As a housewife, nobody sees what I do. Yeah, I
Wow.
don't. I mean, I post pictures a lot on FB, diba? But about of the kids and stuff. But then people hardly see anything. So nothing gets uploaded. So right now, I stop a lot and I cry and I tell God, God, you saw this. You saw this.
Yeah.
Please remember
Yes.
me. Please remember me.
Yes. Yes. And
Yeah.
I'm remembering the comment of one of my friends. he said, and this is a guy friend, but he said being a housewife, to him, it was the highest of all jobs that a woman can have. So to hear that coming from a guy, I was like, oh, really? And, like the achiever in me, I was like, okay. But yeah, the importance of a mother, the importance of a father, a mother, in the life of a child, I think we cannot downplay that. They are the hidden success stories, those who are rarely applauded, but whose influence in the lives of kids goes on and on and on and bears fruit. Okay, you know what? Fantastic stuff. Thank you so much, Katherine,
Thank you.
for joining us in our episode of
Thank
Breakthrough
you.
in
Thank you.
Academics. And we'll actually, guys, we'll see her actually later. We will have Katherine pray for our audience. So, guys, stick around. Don't leave yet. Okay, although Katherine will disappear. Okay, for a moment, just for a moment. Okay, so we hope that you guys have been enjoying our broadcast so far. If you've only tuned in now, we are One Voice Radio, the broadcast arm of One Voice Magazine. We are in partnership with UCAP Radio and TBN Asia, and we have the media partner Light TV and book sponsor OMF Literature. At the end of the show, we will be raffling off 5 copies of Ronald Molnisa's book, Pass or Fail. So please make sure you stick.
Yay!
Yeah.
All right.
I'm pretty excited for
Stay
that.
till the end. Okay, we are streaming live on our Facebook page, Facebook.com/One Voice Magazine, and on YouTube.com/WhatMagInc. We also have Instagram, but we're not streaming on Instagram, no? Instagram.com/One Voice Magazine. Okay, so let's take a short break, guys, and let's listen to the music from the band Resonant Praise. So here is A Joyful Sound. See you in a bit. Don't go away.
You light up the darkness and fill my heart with hope when my strength starts to fail me. In my shame, you found me and clothed me in your love. By your grace, I am free. So today, when you hear His voice, harden not your heart. As you are into His presence and worship. Praise the name of the Lord our God, Jesus Messiah. With one voice we sing our praise and make a joyful sound to the King of Kings. Whoa, whoa, Your Spirit, He moves me. Your word, it guides my way. Your promise is true. Messiah. With one voice we sing the praise and make a joyful sound to the King of praise. The name of the Lord our God, Jesus Messiah. With one voice we sing the praise and make a joyful sound to the King of Kings.
Light TV God's Channel of Blessings app is our new way to engage and be a channel of blessings to millions of lives, all for the glory of God. Through this app, your favorite Light TV shows and live streams are made possible, hoping that we can encourage, speak life, and uplift people around the world. This app becomes exciting because of its key features. Watch and discover Light TV shows for your daily dose of inspiration and encouragement. Exclusive video on-demand sermons and clips from Christians and TV hosts. Easy access to give and donate to Light TV Foundation. Watch live streams while on the go. User-friendly interface that will provide fast, streamlined delivery of content in an easy-to-access format. Stream Light TV shows in your television via Google Chromecast. Enjoy binge watching your favorite Light TV shows because of its low data consumption. And it's totally free. No logins and subscriptions needed. There are 3 easy steps on how to download the app. Search Light TV God's Channel of Blessings in Google Play. Visit bit.ly/Light TV app on your mobile device. Or scan the QR code using a QR scanner from your phone. So what are you waiting for? Download the app now and continue to be the light in this world. Light TV God's Channel of Blessings is available on Google Play Store. Download now.
God's channel of blessings. Come to the light. God's channel of blessings.
Okay, welcome back to One Voice Radio. So
Welcome
we are
back.
the broadcast. We are the broadcast arm of One Voice Magazine. That song that you heard was A Joyful Sound by Resonant Praise, which you can find in the archives of UCAP TV and UCAP Radio. Okay, and then the app plug that you saw afterwards was from our media partner, Light TV, God's Channel of Blessings. Okay, so we are streaming live on our Facebook page. So again, we are at facebook.com/One Voice Magazine. We are also streaming live on UCAP Radio and TBN Asia and TBN Philippines. You can find One Voice Magazine on Instagram, instagram.com/One Voice Magazine, and on YouTube, youtube.com/WhatMagInc. And of course, do check out our website, onevoicemagazine.com.
All right. So, just before we proceed with our next guest, let's take a look at our live comments here. So, Victorious Peralta, Ate Je, hello, says, Genesis 1 Church is watching. Hi, guys. Miss you all.
Yay! Hi,
All
Genesis One Church.
And then JP Betanzo says, breakthrough in academics. All right. That was our very first live comment. And then tapos si Jacqueline Beray Kanya. Ay, Ate Jackie, hello. Watching Team
Team
Kanya.
Kanya.
Amen.
Yay.
Hello to Baby Kanya. Okay, Baby
Yes.
Olivia.
Okay,
And Neil.
tapos si Ivy May Pastor. Awesome, Ate Katherine. Also, I think she's a friend of Ate Katherine. So yes, hello there. Hello to you. And Mark Nicholas Martin says, learning so much. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that you will learn more from our next guest.
He was actually our guest last week.
Last
Oh,
week,
great.
I
Good that you're
remember.
watching, Mark.
All right.
Goodness.
Okay. So that is it for now. So don't forget about our raffle at the end of our show. So please, guys, make yourselves known. Make yourselves known. All right? Okay. So
Okay.
our
This
next, shall
is
we proceed? For
this
our
is just
next-
really funny. I want to say this because it's from Joseph Jeremiah Fernandez. Asis, I eat
ah,
hamster meat. That's the kid of ano,
I eat hamster meat. Okay, well,
Catherine. So I'm glad you're watching.
yes, but guys,
Okay.
warning, it is not
I
recommended
was
to eat
wondering who
hamster
that
meat.
was. I'm like, what?
All right, but guys, just a fair
Okay.
warning, it is not safe to eat that yet.
Eat
Okay,
hamster.
so all right.
Don't
So
try
with
this at home.
do not try this at home. Yes. All right. So shall we proceed with our next guest?
Yes, yes. Okay, our next guest is actually still a student. He just completed his junior high studies at the Unida Nehemiah Christian Academy, and he is an incoming grade 12 student at Mapua. Okay, and this is Rovic Talagtag. Okay, so Rovic was first honor rank 1 class valedictorian at school, leadership awardee, male model student awardee, and the recipient of 10 academic awards, being the Archimedes Award, the Pascal Award, the Wordsworth Award. Oh, Wordsworth. You must be good in words. Okay. Manuel L. Quezon Award, Emilio Jacinto Award, Charles Babbage Award, Manggagawa Award, Will Chamberlain Award, Beethoven Award. Oh, you're also a musician. Okay. Our Solo Award. Wow, Rovic. This is like a lot of awards. Okay, so how is it like being a student achiever having all these awards?
Well, first of all, I just want to thank you all guys for having me here. Well, with
Our
respect to
pleasure.
Welcome,
your Ate
Rovic.
Jan's question, I think I'm going to describe my academic life, by
Okay.
saying that it is both great and dreadful. First, it is great.
Wasn't expecting that.
First, it is great because I'm more than happy honoring God by honoring my parents through helping them in our expenses in the university. Well, the second one, the funny thing is, it is also dreadful because all of these benefits and privileges that I have as a scholar, that I have, yeah, comes with a set of obligations and responsibility that must be met every single term. That is how I could describe my academic life, both great and dreadful.
Okay. Since you describe your academic life as great and dreadful, maybe you can share something specific or something memorable that, made you see breakthrough in your academics.
Okay. One of the most memorable breakthrough that I have experienced in my academic life is when I received the scholarships that I currently have right now that help us financially in pursuit of my desired career. It was
Mm-mm.
really funny because I think I am somehow negligent during our enrollment, and I didn't know that the down payment the down payment amount was, I think, 40,000, and the only money that I have in my pocket is around 20,000.
Oh,
So
20,000 more.
I didn't actually know if I already passed the scholarship na meron ako ngayon. So it is a challenge, and sabi ko, lagot ako sa magulang ko nito pag hindi ako naging scholar. Kasi medyo naging negligent ako na hindi ko sila sinabihan na the down payment was 40,000 and ang dinala ko lang is 20,000. But thank God, luckily, that when I get to the office of the registrar, I was admitted as a Don Tomas Mapua scholar of my current university, which is Mabuhay University in Intramuros.
All right. Wow.
Congratulations on that.
Congrats, man.
Good.
All right. So, ang susunod na question is, did being a student achiever come to you naturally? So why or why not? And can you please share more about that? Yes.
Uh, this is actually a hard question. I think biology and social science have their key role on my general well-being right now. At some part of it, my sense of being an achiever comes naturally. Of course, through genetics by inheriting my parents' genetics material, basic biology, and also as time goes by, I nurture this gift that I have received naturally. So technically, it is both natural and at the same time, I nurtured it.
Okay.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
So, yeah, thank you, Noah, for that question. Going through your list of awards, you have, usually people graduated like three, four, and you graduated with, or you completed your earlier schooling with 10 awards. So are these self expectations that I have to be an achiever, or are these expectations of others, like your family? So, hello?
I think when it comes to the expectations of other people, I learned um, to know kung ano yung dapat kong tanggapin and dapat kong i-ignore. I
Mhm.
prefer to ignore most of their expectations because I know that it may put so much burden or pressure on my shoulders na baka iniisip ko mag-overthink ako. Scholar pa naman ako, inaasahan pa naman ako ng family ko or inaasahan ako ng friends ko. Baka mapahiya ako. So, before, that was my thinking. But then I learned that I must live in a life wherein I am only pleasing or I am living a life with an audience of one. Yun
Mm.
yung
Mm.
isa sa mga, I think, one of the most significant thing that I have learned from my local church pastors. No, um, yeah, that's it.
All right. Tapos going further into uh, with expectations and everything, may mga times ba na parang pumalya ka sa mga ginagawa mo, or was there a point where you encountered very big disappointment? So I'm sure bilang estudyante ganun talaga yung pag-aaral, no? So can you please tell us how you handled it, rather how you handled that failure or disappointment?
Well, first, let me share this, Kuya, no? No, yung one of the most painful, I think,
Mm-mm.
failure that I've been in just last semester. I got a score of 35 over 120 in a
Mm-mm.
performance
Wow.
task. So I
Mm,
think that
okay.
was only 29%. So, and also, I failed in my differential calculus midterm exam. So it became more painful because I love math. No, I'm a person who love math. So it comes into my mind, favorite ko ang math, bakit ako dito pa bumagsak, why not in other subjects, no? Nag-aaral ako mabuti sa math. In fact, I spend most of my nights studying or advancing more dun sa na-lesson na namin. So, why did I fail? No, tapos, yeah, but it so happened. But then I realized that it's normal. Failures are stepping stones to success. That's what I believe in right now. No, now we are at some point in time. No, talagang I will experience failures, whether it is big or small. But then I think kung gaano man kalaki yung failure na yon, wala nang mas lalaki pa sa Diyos na meron ako na
Mm-mm.
kayang iangat yung pagkatao na He is the God of knowledge and He created the world, no? So, siya yung source of knowledge ko na hindi ako dapat kabahan
Mm-mm.
na baka sa susunod
Amen.
ganito. Kasi
Right.
I know that my God is the creator of everything. So, it's like parang meron akong source of knowledge or wisdom na direct.
So, Rovic, after that failure, no, after getting 29 points lang out of 120, what did you do to pull up your grade?
Oh, okay. I remember that this is a little bit, medyo nasasaktan pa ako kahit ngayon.
Oh
Kasi
no!
Medyo sariwa
medyo
pa
in
din.
despair kami nung panahon na yun. Kasi hindi, mahirap talaga yung class na yon, yung subject namin na yon. And it was during na, yung panahon na yon is when we started to shift online classes. So, ayun yung pagputok ng pandemic. Everything is doom, everything is messed up. Na I couldn't help myself to focus on my academics because I can see my surroundings and my environment being, chaotic. But then I realized na when everything's um when everything's going out of hand or when everything is getting out of control, I have to trust the one who holds my future. Or when
Mm-mm.
the waves of uncertainty surrounded me, I have to trust my creators who calms the storm. So that that is my very mindset no, nung when I failed. And luckily, through the grace of God, my professor gave us a second chance of
Yay!
taking an remedial exam. So by then, yan, ginalingan ko na lalo.
Okay, so
Good.
professors, be gracious to your students if you're watching. Some of them might be achievers, like
Mm.
Rovic. Rovic, you have what, 10 awards at least on my list, no?
Mm-mm.
So, with these on your back or on your head, how do you handle success now, and what is success to you?
Oh, okay, this is a very critical and very critical question, Ate Jan.
Kaya mo yan, man. Kaya mo yan.
Go,
Deep.
go.
I hand I
Laban.
handle success by what my professor taught me personally. This is the very word that she taught me. Sabi niya sa akin, whenever na maging successful man ako, I have to always think of this line. No? Sabi niya sa akin, mata sa langit, pa sa lupa. Na when every time na I get every recognition that I receive, every awards that na attain ko, every achievements na nakuha ko in my academic life, I have to always set my feet on the ground and and never stop pursuing my desired career, no? Na kailangan kahit anumang success, kahit gaano pa kalaki yung success na na-receive ko, kailangan maging humble pa rin ako. And that's how I handle my success.
Mm. Oo, actually tama 'yun. Mahalaga talaga yung pagiging mapagpakumbaba, no? So, pero bilang achiever, may mga tips ka ba or may mga payo ka ba sa mga gustong maging achiever to those who also want to reach those heights? Ganon.
Oh, okay. I think, my tips would be, most especially during this distant learning, no, we're in, we are experiencing pandemic. These
Mm.
are my tips to cope up with our distant learning. First is, even if no one's watching you, have the initiative to discipline yourself to do every single task that you have to do.
Tama,
Kasi
tama.
unlike when we are in a traditional way of learning, there are always professors or teachers or instructors that will reprimand us if needed, no? Or discipline us kapag masyado na tayo nadidistract. But during this distant learning, tayo lang yun, nandito tayo sa bahay. We are so comfortable here in our personal houses. So, have the initiative to discipline yourself na
Mm.
mag-pursue pa rin. Then,
Mm.
second one is have the willingness to learn even if it is challenging. And third one, is the focus on your goal. Um, never divert your attention, divert your gaze dun sa gusto mong marating. Kasi,
Mm-mm.
you know, I remember I wrote it here. Your yes to your ambition means no to lingering distractions. Let me really just emphasize that. Your yes to your ambitions means no to lingering distractions. When everything is getting out of control, trust the one who holds your future. When the waves of uncertainty surrounded you, trust your creator who calms the storm. And always remind yourself to what the Philippians 3:14 says. Press on toward the goal for the prize of the upward call of God in Christ Jesus. Always press
Nice.
on toward the goal.
Very good. Actually, may gusto ko pang
Wow.
itanong eh. So ikaw ba mismo, may sarili ka bang routine na pwede mong ibahagi sa mga new students? Like something that we can model ourselves after kasi syempre mahirap talaga yung pagiging porsigido sa mga ganito, lalo na sa ganitong panahon, ano? So, is there anything that you have to impart also? Like in terms of yung pagiging disiplinado?
I start my day by doing my devotional first. Then, just like nung traditional na pagpasok, naliligo ako, kumakain ako. Just like yung sinabi kanina ni Ate Hannah or Teacher Hannah. No? You have to be, kasi this moment, this season is very tempting na maging tamad, maging lax. So you have to discipline yourself na gawin pa rin yung same degree ng ginagawa mo nung may pasok. You have to wake up early to bath yourself. You have to eat your breakfast. No? And
Integridad, oo.
yes. And when it comes naman po sa studying per se, I must say talaga na it is a battle within yourself to discipline, no? To discipline yourself na ang dami-dami kasing distractions right now during this distant learning, ano po. Na, you can watch Netflix all day as long as you want. You can just
Stay
use
in
your phone
bed.
to you can actually sleep at within the rest of the day. And yeah, as tulad ng sinasabi ko po kanina, it is really a battle within yourself na kailangan mong disiplinahin yung sarili mo na kapag ba challenging na yung nangyayari, kailangan na magpadala ka na. So, you have to fight for your ambitions.
Okay, thank you.
Rovik, thank you so much. I really enjoyed hearing all your answers to our questions because I know there are a lot of students who may be watching right now and you really inspire them. Like hearing your words as a teacher, I'm like, there are students like him in this world. So keep going, teachers, and keep going, students. So, one of the things I admire about you is how you pursue excellence as a student. One is nakakatulong ka sa family mo. Two is you are a role model for the kids younger than you or even your peers. So, how does excellence as a student help you in other areas of your life?
I think my excellence as a student helped me in other areas of my life by helping me to be a critical thinker. And of course, hindi naman natatapos ang buhay sa pagiging estudyante. Time will come na we will graduate, or maybe we will pursue our masters. But time will come na you have to be involved in the society. You have to be involved in the society where you live in. You have to influence your church. You have to influence the government, and the seven other pillars of the society. So I think that is my favorite na learning in studying, and it made me a critical thinker.
Very good.
Okay. Wow. Fantastic stuff, Rovik. Rovik, do you have any last words that you want to share with our viewers?
Okay. During this stretching season, let's allow God to mold us from within. Let's allow God to showcase His sovereignty amidst this pandemic. And let's allow God to exhibit His strength amidst our weaknesses. I think every cloud is silver lined when you are in the hands of God, who can turn tests to testimonies and trials to triumphs. That's all, guys. Thank
Amen.
you.
All right.
Amen. Yeah, he can turn tests into testimonies. He's the
Mhm.
best teacher that we can
Yes.
ever have. No. All right. You know what? We're going to call back on screen, Catherine. If Tech can bring her back on screen, because this is the part that I've actually been waiting for. No, to have her pray a blessing, speak a blessing to our viewers. Okay, is Pao still there? Uh, would love, yeah, it's like a full band, full team. Okay, so Catherine, would you do us the honor of praying for our viewers? Yeah, that each one would achieve a breakthrough in academics.
Okay. Um, by the way, before we pray, I'd like to thank One Voice for having this. I actually enjoyed myself the entire time. Thank you.
Wow.
So did
Thank
we. Thank
you.
you so much.
Well, with youth like you, the earth is in good hands.
Aw.
Praise
So
God.
occupy and conquer, just as God has intended us to. Okay, so let's all pray. Lord, thank you so much for your presence in this space. Even on the airwaves, we can redeem the airwaves for you by speaking
Yes.
your words, by speaking life to everybody. And Lord, right now through the airwaves, I speak life onto all the children right now who are pandemic learners, whether they are in school or whether they're being homeschooled or learning informally. Lord, I ask that you be their father, that you be their mentor, their greatest teacher, and that they're able to attribute their successes and their comebacks from failure to your love and the kind of care that you're showing each of them as they walk through this life. Lord, bless everybody on this table right now, everybody who was part of this interview. May you continue to um, mold them and continue to give them a platform where they're able to really glorify you to the greatest audience, the audience that you have chosen for them to influence. Lord, I also pray for wisdom for parents to be especially patient and especially forgiving and compassionate to their children during the time that they'll be locked in 24/7 with their kids. That they, Lord, give them special grace to be good teachers, even if they're not necessarily trained or if they don't feel qualified. And also, Lord, show them the map, the roadmap for how you want their families to worship you together and develop each other's gifts and character together. Lord, I pray for the country. Lord, there is a very big anti-intellectual spirit in this country. I speak against that this season, and may other achievers rise up and call you blessed, Father. May they acknowledge that it is you who gives wisdom to all. And may they be also put into positions of influence in their adult life so that they will be able to lead this country better. This I ask in your most precious name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen,
Amen.
amen, and
Amen.
amen. Thank you so much,
Thank
Catherine. It was a
you.
pleasure having you as well, Rovik. Yeah, the two of you,
Thank you, Russell
fantastic,
and the
fantastic.
judge.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
always.
Okay, so whew, wow, that was such a wonderful interview with both
Yes.
Catherine and Rovik. Okay, at this
Very
point,
inspiring.
I just want you to remember, guys, if you've just tuned in now, this is One Voice Radio, the broadcast arm of One Voice Magazine. We are streaming live on our Facebook. We are also streaming live on UCAP's Facebook page and TBN Asia and TBN Philippines. And we'd also want to acknowledge Light TV as our media partner, as well as OMF Literature as our book sponsor. Yay! Okay. And we do have a book. right? Okay, we have a book and we will raffle up 5 copies. Can we have the cover? There we go. So this is Pass or Fail by Ronald Momisa. Okay,
Right.
Noah?
Okay, so pass or fail. So for those who don't know, this book is written in conversational Tagalog and English. So pass or fail is an informative series on personal development for the youth, covering how to become the best student you can be, to how to prepare for life after graduation. All right, so an important resource for students, graduates, and everyone who wants to become the best version of themselves. So may tanong din dito, lagi ka bang may kaba tuwing mag-exam, magpapasa ng requirements o kapag may graduated recitation? Ano bang kailangan gawin para hindi naman laging 50-50 ang buhay mo sa school? So Ronald Monmisa is back, fresh from the best-selling Success of Love Struck, and this time around he's giving the young ones advice on how to not just study hard but study smart also. But the book includes chapters on reading, memorizing, and note-taking, to cheat or not to cheat. Time out, stressed ako, time purse. Terror ba teacher mo? And lots of other useful tidbits written in a language that young people can relate to. So guys, go. Go, magparamdam kayo and take advantage of this.
Okay, can we have
Okay.
the raffle
All right. So
instructions?
do you guys want to win? If you guys want to win this book, the mechanics of this is very simple. Again, we are streaming from 4 different Facebook pages. We've got One Voice magazine page. We've got TBN Asia, TBN Philippines, and we've also got UCAP page. All right. So here's how you guys can win the book. We want you guys to comment on our live video. The first to comment gets to win a book. But you guys have to answer this question. Okay, answer this question in the comments below. And your question for today is, to win this book is...
Thank you,
Alright.
pal, for that hype. Okay, everyone, if you are tuned in right now, show us some love in the comment section. Draw emoji, any emoji that you're feeling. While I'm asking this question, show some love. Name one of the attitudes needed to be a successful student. So we'll be getting 4 winners from any of the 4 pages that we have: One Voice, TBN Asia, and UCAP, TBN Philippines. So show us some love with some emojis, and of course, some attitudes you need to be a successful student.
Okay.
We are
you guys have
monitoring
been
our
listening.
pages.
Okay, 10 seconds. 10,
10,
9, 8. Teacher na teacher eh. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Any?
None here. Baka mahaba yung answer nila kasi, di ba? To be successful.
Just an attitude, guys. One
name
attitude.
one thing. It's not an essay. It's
Identification.
Well,
it's identification task.
super fast talk. Oh, we
There.
have
Ayan, meron ni
Okay.
Sam.
Oh, there's
Meron ni Sam.
one. There's one. I've got here.
Vanya. Humility.
Yay! Yes, that was mentioned by Rovic. Yay!
I have one
Okay.
by Sean Iron Pastor. He says you have to have discipline.
Yes.
Discipline.
Okay.
Congratulations,
Congrats.
Sean and
There
Maria.
you
Too.
Okay, 3 more. Dun, 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 dun. Come on, hurry up before I change my mind.
Yeah, 2 more.
Teacher Jan.
Yeah. Be nice to our viewers. Oh,
Okay.
Honesty.
There's another one. Yeah.
Another one. Yeah, please.
Already.
Yeah, if an answer has been said, don't say it again. We have to make sure that we listen. Okay.
Oh, dapat maging creative kayo sa mga sagot ninyo.
Bawal daw copy paste. Sorry,
Okay,
the question was, what attitude should you have in order to be an achiever?
Yes. What?
we've already
Name
got
one of the
winners.
attitudes. Like, name one of the attitudes. Oh, we didn't get the question. Who? So, yeah.
Yeah,
Pao
there.
said it again. So I hope they caught that. So we're looking for one more winner. You cannot use humility or discipline anymore. I'm sure there are other attitudes out there to be a
Yes,
successful
guys.
student.
Ano pa ang mga kailangan para maging achiever tayo? So let's go, guys. Come on, come on.
Okay.
Hype
10
them
count
up.
again.
All right.
10,
Oh, may
9,
sagot ako. May sagot ako, Ate Jen.
Ayan,
Canopy,
meron din ako.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Time management. Okay,
Oh,
we have
Ayan.
here.
from
See,
RM Organis.
RM.
Alright.
Thank you
Time
so
Ito pa,
much. There you
management.
go.
may nagparamdam dito sa sa UCAP page. Joseph
Ah.
Ryan Balo says optimistic. Pwede. Actually,
Pwede.
malaking bagay din yun.
Okay.
Optimistic.
All
Oo.
right.
But
Okay, so
we'll include that. So we'll have 5 winners already. We have Sean, Maria, Anton, RM, and your friend Noah
Si
from
Joseph.
PB, and Joseph.
Joseph.
So
oo.
those are 5 winners of the book. That
Congrats!
congratulations from
Alright.
OMF. Pass or Fail by Roland Malmisa. Congratulations, guys.
Alright, congrats sa inyo lahat.
congrats. Okay, so for the winners, you are going to be contacted by Hannah. So just wait for her message and you will find out how you are going to get your copy of Pass or Fail by Ronald Molmisa. Okay, we hope you enjoyed today's episode on Breakthrough in Academics. Again, One Voice Radio is the broadcast arm of One Voice Magazine, an online magazine which you can easily find online at onevoicemagazine.com. One Voice Radio in partnership with UCAP Radio and TBN Asia with media partner Light TV and book sponsor OMF Literature is streaming on our Facebook page, facebook.com/onevoicemagazine. And you can find us on our website, onevoicemagazine.com. You can also find us on Instagram, instagram.com/onevoicemagazine, and on YouTube, youtube.com/whatmaginc.
Yes, and if you were blessed by this episode, please do share this episode to your family and friends on your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, One Voice. We are there on all 3 platforms. So like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram. We also have YouTube, let's not forget. And let's start a conversation. So let's talk about what God is doing or undoing in your hearts. And yes, we are looking forward to hearing your stories. Yes.
One Voice Magazine and radio, we're very open to partnerships and advertisements for organizations, companies, churches. So if you guys would like to know more about how to partner with us, please do so and get in touch. Get in touch with us by emailing at info@onevoicemagazine.com.
Thanks, Pao. As you guys know, we are currently running on donation. So if this radio program blesses you and you are compelled to give to One Voice Magazine and radio, you can give financially through our PayPal account at give@onevoicemagazine.com or paypal.me/onevoicemagazine.
All right.
Thank you very much for tuning in. Again, we are One Voice Radio, delivering to you stories of hope, unity, and transformation. We invite you to join us again next week as we tackle breakthrough in drumroll marriage. Yeah. Okay. I know it's a pretty big jump.
It's gonna be a good one.
Academic marriage.
Yeah, but again, our target audience, because we have the YA crowd. Okay, the YA crowd. Although this week, today is a special episode for the youth, and we love the youth, and also because at one point in One Voice's history, our primary target was the youth at one point, no? But still, love for the youth. We love you. So, guys, thank you, and bye-bye. See you next week. See you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget
God
to
bless
like,
you.
subscribe to One Voice Magazine. God bless you.
All right. God bless inyo lahat. Bye-bye.